for a fact that he's poisoned his own people. He doesn't believe in the worth of each individual. We must do everything we possibly can to stop the terror. Now watch this drive.
When are you going to apologize to the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraqi capacity. You sent me to Iraq. You sent me to Iraq in 2003. My friends are dead. Shots to the Conceal. You killed me. You lied. You lied about WMD. A million Iraqis are dead because you lied. My friends are dead because you lied. You need to apologize. Apologize.
The tyrant has fallen, and Iraq is free.
All the world is a stage, and everything of importance that occurs on it is planned to happen that way, and it is through this Illuminati system of intertwining secret societies that the entire world is ultimately run. The vital control centers of this mechanism are the three Illuminati city-states, all of which are separate self-governing states within host countries. The first is the City of London, which is the center for monetary control. The second is Washington's District of Columbia, which is the center for military control, and the third is Vatican City, which is the center for spiritual control. Each city-state is a completely separate, self-governed and sovereign state within an external sovereign country. Each has its own laws, its own news services and infrastructure, each pays no taxes to the sovereign country in which it is located, and each has its own flag. The flag of each bears 3 stars, signifying the 3 city-states. Each city also has its own obelisk, as the bloodline that controls the world can be clearly traced back to ancient Egypt. These are the 3 Illuminati control centers of the world. It is from these 3 centers that control over all aspects of the world is achieved. Exposing the controllers. So then, who are the controllers and why? Why are they doing this to the human race? When these people already control all the money and all the resources and already start wars and famines at whim, why take it any further? What else is there to gain? Well, here's where explanations are decidedly more difficult, because even the Illuminati themselves say there is another unseen hand that controls even them, and who this hidden hand may actually belong to. Well, that will have to remain the subject of another video, but suffice to say for now that the reality is this. The reality that we live in, what we perceive as being reality, is not reality. We create what we perceive to be reality with our emotions and our intent. Those who control the human race know this, and so do many other cultures. And the evidence to support such an argument being true is in fact, quite literally, everywhere. We as Westerners think we are more advanced than other races because we have flashy cars, mobile phones and plasma TVs, but these are all merely trinkets. They are nothing more than baubles and beads designed to distract you from the real power in the universe. A power that we are all connected to. This connection with the greater power is now becoming more pronounced, and more people are waking up every day as we approach the line of the galactic ecliptic, and the frequency of Earth and everyone and everything rises accordingly. The power elite know this. They know that the frequency of this planet and of our entire solar system is rising, and so they are combating this rising of frequency and awakening of deeper human awareness with virtual sensory onslaught, TV, sex, utterly meaningless celebrity gossip, more and more baubles and beads, and more by promoting an atmosphere of fear. Wars, terrorism, the myth of global warming, engineered food shortages, gas shortages, flu variants, anything they can think of to produce negative energy and a climate of fear, stress, hatred and intolerance, and to a certain degree, they have succeeded. Until now. We have had a massive awakening. The awakening. From now, the people are beginning to wake up. Project Looking Glass Insider. The elites panicked when they saw the future. No matter what they do, mankind eventually wins. This message therefore goes out as a hope, as a challenge and as a calling. It goes out as a calling to everyone and also as a calling to every police officer and to all military personnel as a reminder to them that the job of the police is not one of blind enforcement of law but as rather to protect and serve the public, not of protection and servitude to corrupt politicians, just as the role of the military is the protection of their nation, not protection of the nation's politicians. If the politicians enact legislation or issue decrees that oppress the rights of the people or are not in the best interests of the people in promoting freedom and the right of each individual to the personal pursuit of happiness, then it is the politicians who sought to enact such laws who should be arrested and not the people who disregard them. Their people are sovereign, not the government. The government is the servant of the people, not vice versa. Microchipped. Never. Of course, waking some of these police officers may be somewhat of a challenge if not impossible because it is highly likely that many of them have already been chipped. It is extremely easy to control the emotional state of any person who has been implanted with a microchip. The human body is nothing more than a biological computer. All actions, feelings and emotions are detected by the brain as electrical impulses. Placing a microchip inside someone's body allows the computer to be interfered with by an external source similar to a Trojan horse program on a home PC. No intelligent or thinking individual should ever allow themselves to be microchipped. No matter how convenient it is made to appear to entice you. To allow yourself to be chipped is to place your life and your very thoughts and emotions into the hands of another whom you do not know. And this is not science fiction, it is actual fact. In recent decades, experiments with microchips were carried out on animals with great success. Scientists were easily about to invoke extremes of emotion ranging from extreme contentment to violent anger in this cat, for example, with a simple change of frequency. This technology to control emotions does exist. It is not some fantasy, and it is very likely that it is due to such technology that we are recently witnessing such wanton aggression from police officers whose actual job it is to protect and serve, rather than to harass and intimidate, such as they appear to be concentrating on now. According to Aaron Russo, his friend Nick Rockefeller told him that the end goal of the NWO is to get everyone microchipped. The real hidden knowledge, love versus fear. This information. It must be clearly understood by all that there are only two true emotions, love and fear. All other emotions stem from these two base emotions. Love is a much faster vibration that fear, and love has been proven to actually physically affect human DNA and allow more centers for coding. This is what makes true evolution possible, and this is the knowledge the elite desperately want to keep from the people, because people who live in love evolve to higher consciousness, and awareness and power over them is lost. This is part of the hidden knowledge held by organizations like the Illuminati. This is why Western society and modern religions such as Christianity have striven so hard to wipe out paganism. In fact, modern religious institutions were so fearful of the message contained within paganism and deemed it such a threat to their hegemony that the practice of it was punishable by death. But you can ask even a small child from some obscure village in the Andes and soon realize that they all know this information, but it has been hidden from the West. It is important now, through all of the problems we face, to approach the world with only love in your heart. This can sometimes be difficult to do. When faced with the truth about our world and the atrocities that are being carried out in our names by our governments. Do you feel outrage? Do you feel anger? It is quite natural to feel such emotions when faced with this information, and quite fine that you do, because such anger and outrage is born from a love and empathy for your fellow man. Or do you feel hatred at the perpetrators? Hatred is a bad thing, and though it is hard, you must not allow yourself to fall into such a trap. Hatred is a very negative emotion, and negativity can only ever produce more negativity. And the people who are carrying out this madness in the world want you to hate them. They don't care who your hatred is directed at, even if it is directed at them, just so long as you hate something or someone. They just want the negative energy to keep flowing. Do not hate your enemies. Instead, love them. Hatred empowers your enemies against you, and such demonstrations only provoke retaliation. In attempting to deal with the NWO, many talk of an armed uprising, but that is not the way. They want an armed uprising, you must see that, and so you must not give them that. An armed uprising will only result in martial law, and the NWO will never be defeated with weapons. They have technology to defeat any armed uprising that you cannot even imagine. The whole issue needs to be approached with a state of love. When I say it's important to approach things in a state of love, I'm not talking about the touchy-feely let's all be passive and wear flowers in our hair kind of love. I'm talking about real love, empathy and understanding for all people and all life. An understanding that there is no division among the peoples of the world. These divisions are an illusion created by the elite in order to divide us. Ignore them. There is no division, there is no other, there is only one. We are one. No people in any country want war. Only leaders and bankers want war, so don't give it to them. Many people think that the problems are unique to their country. For example, many Americans may claim the issues of 9/11 to be an internal problem. But such is not the case, because the conspiracy we are dealing with here is very old and very well thought out, and the problem is indeed a global one. Much of the controlling influences are actually European, it just seems internal to many Americans because it's more active and this is not to say anything against the American people at all. It is more active in America at this particular time because it is in America's District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., that lies the Illuminati Center for Military Control. That is why it is so important for the American people to act immediately to restore their constitution. Should this not be achieved, it will spell very bad times ahead indeed, not just for America but for the entire globe, because there is nowhere to escape from the NWO. There is nowhere to run, no country one could move to, and no chance of setting up any alternate societies in some place that will remain unaffected. Their influence across the earth is all pervasive. How to defeat the New World Order? The only real way to defeat the NWO and stop the fascist malaise that is creeping across our earth is to address the root cause of the problem. To cut the head off the snake. And that problem is the global monetary system and those who control it, because the megalomaniacs who are creating this mayhem in the world are and have always been the criminal banking elite, consisting of families such as the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, and this can be amply proven. These people have trampled on the entire human race. They have sold us out in more ways than you may ever believe. The Rothschild family alone has managed to hoard over 1/2 of the Earth's entire wealth in the last 300 years by means of lies and deception, and has the blood of quite literally millions on the hands. The goal of these elite international criminals is to microchip the entire population of Earth and to eliminate those who wrest to total control over humanity can be placed in their hands. These are extremely sick and ruthless people who care nothing for anyone who is not part of their club. What is needed to fix the problems is a global revolution of the people, but it does not need to be a bloody battle. In fact, not a single shot even needs to be fired. All that is required is for people to wake up and stop going along with the system. Stop agreeing with what is being done to the world and its people. For just 1 week even, stand up and say no, we won't do this anymore. Can you imagine what the elite would do and what could be achieved with just 1 week of global non-compliance? 1 week of global non-compliance by the people would bring the entire global elite to their knees and utterly defeat their new world order in one fell swoop. Then, if people forgot all about what the TV told them was right, and helped each other instead of profiting from each other in order to buy more useless trinkets, the entire system of slavery and control would come crashing down like a house of cards. The only power that the ruling elite have over the peoples of the world is the power we ourselves grant to them. All that is needed to fix it and stop the NWO in its tracks is for the people of the world to stand united in an act of non-violent non-compliance. A simple case of no sir, we will not do this anymore. It's that simple. We are anonymous. We are the voice of the silent majority, silent no more. We are legion, we are free. We do not have to fight bloody wars for our sovereignty. We do not have to obey your tyrant mandates or treasonous executive orders. You do not own the people, expect us.